is going to be interviewed, so please be in the Discord channel for that. If you guys do not want to be in our league Discord throughout the race, that is fine. Just be able to get to our channel if you finish in the podium positions. For caution flags, multiple cars involved. If iRacing does not throw it, I will throw it for multiples involved.
Race fans, good evening and welcome to Redline Racing Network. It's just past 8 p.m. Standard Eastern Standard Time. Almost forgot what time zone I'm in up here at the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, but that means it is time to get rowdy because Dynasty Racing League Winter Series is about to take over and invade Hot-Lanta. This isn't the new version. No, this is the OG cheese grater. I'm going to destroy your Goodyear Eagles. Time for some right rear pimping here in primetime. Good evening. I'm Matt Metler up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth, and these drivers are primed for some high-octane, high-flying racing action. After all, the nighttime is the right time for DRL in primetime. And we have the collab of some of the series OGs out there tonight with some of the new faces, and it is going to be a high-octane thriller. So make sure you strap in. Make sure Grandma's got plenty of kernel-free popcorn because this race is about to be lit from the time we drop the green flag. Qualifying just rounding up here this evening. Let's go ahead and get the tower up so you guys can follow along at home with us right here on Redline Racing Network. As this field now gets ready, set to rock and roll. But before we do that, let's go up tonight and pull out tonight's race information. Again, this track advertised. Oh, I see. Well, I guess the SDK file wants to shout out Ghost Racing Network, and we do work with them as well here. So now that we get that out of the way, this track advertises a 1.5 mile cookie cutter. However, it clocks in at 1.5 miles. Ambient or track temperature clocking in at 93 degrees. That's going to be very deceiving because ambient air temperature is only 68. So the driver's going to have to pay attention to that 35% water drain or relevant humidity. So these cars are going to be making all the power. And in the Gen 4, oh, that is a lot. 850 plus. Partly cloudy skies and those winds at an elusive 10 miles an hour could be gusting up to 12 to 15 miles an hour at times. So that could be one of those invisible forces working against these drivers here tonight as we get ready to rock and roll here from Hot-Lanta for 250 miles of some of the best racing you will see on the iRacing.com servers. Again, these drivers now staged out there on the racetrack, so let's go ahead and cut over that iRacing.com pace car. Some beautiful looking paint schemes, as you'll always going to see them here in DRL, is that front row is racked, stacked, ready to rock and roll. $25 drivers going to take the initial green flag, and there is talent all the way from the front all the way back to that 25th place position. As that pace car now gets ready to roll for their warm-up lap. Let's go ahead and show the starting grid tonight. Making his return, the most winningest driver in the series of all time, Thomas the Hammer Harmon. He is back, and no surprise, he is on the pole. Kyle Merkel going to start in that second place position. Row 3 is going to belong to Justin Cope in the 9 ride. Outside of him, Donald Hickson Jr. in the 8. Michael Skinner in the 24 from Lights Out Esports going to be starting that P5 position, while Sam Maxwell in the 98 is going to start in 6. 7th belongs to Kenny Thompson in the 22, the Double Deuce, while my man, Royce Breuer, going to start in that 8th place position. 9th, DJ, Mr. Excitement Daniel, my OG teammate over at Whitehead Racing, and TBB, the Butcher, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, rounds out the top 10. Mark Sisisco, I hope I'm saying that, or I'm going to have to ask him how to pronounce that name. James Pandolf, the man, the myth, the legend, the head cook, chief, and bottle washer. He's going to start in that 12th place position. 13th belongs to Kyle Gray. Outside of him is going to be Joel Rowlands in the 7 machine. 15th is going to be Gary Farnsworth in the 42, while Max up there in Montreal, if I remember correctly, he's going to be starting that 16th place position. Let's go ahead and cycle that through just a little bit more. Greg Spiker in the 10 starts 17th, while Brandon Hinton Going to start there in that 18th place position as we get ready to go. Green flag racing here. Oh, we already got problems. The 9 gave it too much feel-good juice, and he is off into the grass. There goes Thomas the Hammer Harmon around as well. What in the world is happening here at Atlanta? Someone get the scraper because the broadcaster needs to be yanked off the floor. I don't believe what I just seen. Are you kidding me? A rare mistake for Thomas the Hammer Harmon. And the 9 ride. They basically did the same thing at the same time. They gave it too much loud pedal on the start of this race, and their cars got rowdy on. These drivers are going to have to dig themselves out of a hole here early. I don't think even Hollywood could have conjured up a starting like that. That's absolutely insane. So we now send it up to the front of this piece. Kyle Merkel. He is vibing right now in that Energizer Kyle Larson scheme. Also, fastest lap on the racetrack at 30.72. He currently runs in at first place position, carrying the torch. Here comes the 5 ride. Bryce's Bahan out there on the racetrack. A great looking Kyle Larson scheme. 2 of them here carrying the torch here. Why not? As Bryce runs in that second place position. Sam Maxwell currently up 3 spots already in third. While Taylor Butcher Benjamin, remember folks, he's making a number change, was in the 8 the last time the series was live in primetime. Now kind of pulls a Dale Jr. and takes over that number 88. As he has wasted no time and has climbed all the way inside the top 5 of that 4th place position. In fact, he wants more. He is going for 3rd. He sends it down to the bottom, door by door, side by side, door to door. These 2 drivers getting up close and personal, almost contact. We barely fit a sheet of paper between those guys out there on the racetrack. They were so close. You know, and as Leo and I always used to say in the series, catching somebody is one thing, passing them is another. As these guys are throwing haymakers at each other. Hey, can't get it done on the low side. He's going to go top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. 98 going to try to dump all of his dirty air out of him. Oh, the 88's going to get a big-time run there. Boyer off into the corner. The 88's going to have the advantage, but can he make it stick? Oh, he is flirting with that white line Harvicking. Oh, he tries to get into the loud pedal. The back end of the race car steps out. He's going to have to reel that thing back in. After regroup, perhaps change his race suit after that one, as that got awful rowdy. We now focus on this battle for that 3rd place position. Mike Skinner there in the 24. DuPont Chevrolet. Pepsi colors on board tonight. Started in 5th. He is even with the board. You can already see these drivers starting to migrate up to that high side of the racetrack. Skinner has a little bit of breathing room, but Kenny Thompson in that 22 is starting to close in on him. This all taking place about 2.5 seconds in behind the leader, who continues to be Kyle Merkel. There's Thompson. Following in close proximity see the 24 is running the wall there. Well, Skinner's trying to, almost looks like he's trying to run the Harvick line there at times, which is basically ripping the bottom of this place conveyor belt style. Just as I say that, he goes back up the racetrack. Kenny Thompson there in the 22. Everyone knows who this is. I ain't as good as I once was. He's as good as he ever was. I don't know who he's getting. DJ Daniel. Timing and scoring currently has him listed in that 77. Locked in as a 77. However, paint scheme on the racetrack. Kevin Harvick, of course, in the 29 ride. So take note of that at home, folks. This car is stamped with the custom number 29. However, timing and scoring does have him listed, labeled as the 77. Currently up 2 spots, occupied right now, riding in that second place position. Kyle Gray currently up 5 spots in 8th. A lot of these drivers making some noise here early. I mean, up 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. We're working 12 out of the scheduled 163. He's doing a great job thus far. He currently resides in that 8th place position. Just joining us here tonight for the first time, make sure you like, share, subscribe, support the cause. In fact, better yet, join the family. You know you want to anyhow. Best way to do that, smash the like button, ring the bell, and you'll get notified each and every time Redline Racing Network is covering all of the high-flying, high-octane esports sim racing action right here on YouTube. You're going to see a lot of evolution here over the course of these 163 laps tonight when these guys got fresh Goodyear Eagles on their race cars. You're going to see them rip, a pretty, I don't want to say a conservative line, but a line that's closer towards the bottom, the middle of this racetrack. More of a shallow entry on some of these corners. Oh, somebody's in the wall. Was that Pandolf? It was James, HMFIC of the league, just went up there and snookered it. Right now, he's getting all of the screen time for all of the wrong reasons, not what he wanted. Let's take a look at that race car. Not seeing too much damage there. He kind of hit it square, if that makes sense. See a little damage there on that. Yeah, he's got it kicked in just a little bit. That Goodyear Eagle on the passenger side is hanging out just a little bit past the front of that nose, which got knocked in. So that could hamper the performance of that 74 just a little bit. Look for him to repair that. First opportunity he has to come down pit road. Because that's going to knock Pandolf now back just inside the top 15, holding on to that 15th place position. Chris Hogue in the 2 machine, up 7 positions already. He started back in the next county. Already up 7 spots to 16th. Greg Spiker, sim racing veteran in the 10 ride. You can see him getting a little loose there. Not that these cars do death wobble, but when they start eating like that, that's a sign, telltale sign, that thing's about to break loose as he sends it down to the bottom, eating hard on the inside here. Nickname Gas says, that's my initials. Well, he's giving it some gas right now. More problems for JP. as he got out of the throttle there. Oh, big time wiggle out of the Napa Know-How machine there. Senior there in the 15 out of Brooklyn, New York. Beautiful weather up in that part of the country this time of the year. Up 4 spots, he's going in the right direction up the scoring pylon. And Thomas the Hammer Harmon, your pole sitter. He just tried to let it rip Tater Chip a little too much, and he has already caught this field. His iconic paint scheme in this league, Cartoon Network, Scooby-Doo on board. He's going to be eating all the Scooby snacks as he has to climb. Oh, hold on to it, buddy. Chris Hogue just got set on a howitzer from Davenport, Iowa, and it made contact with that inside retaining wall. Let's see if this is going to go ahead and throw the caution flag. He's got it in gear. He's down off the racing surface. And we should stay green. You can see already just 22 laps under green flag conditions, and these cars are just becoming a handful for these drivers to hold on to. So Chris now has it on pit road in that Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet. Definitely not the start of the race he was looking for. Marcus already off the racetrack. He's put it on the hauler. Hopkins out of the race car. Sizzler as well off the racetrack. So we already have 4 drivers. Perhaps a start and park situation for some of them. James Pandolf off, and then 2. So we now send it back up to the front. As it's been all Merkel. Merck in the competition since the drop of the green flag. In that Target-powered 41 Ganassi machine. Good battle here, brewing for that second place position. Taylor Butcher Benjamin has taken it from Maxwell and company. But it is a 3-way forward affair. It's okay to 3-way for third. Again, Taylor Butcher Benjamin up 8 positions from the drop of the green flag. However, he has 2 drivers hot on his heels. Thompson's going to try to pull a Louisville slider on the bottom. It's going to be a John Force special here down the backstretch. They almost touch getting into the 3-4 complex. That 98 is not where you want to be. He's going to be getting the dirty air coming off the 88, the 22. And they're going to do a flyby like the Blue Angels coming across the start-finish line. Easy, boys, easy. These cars are not driving good. 27 laps in on these tires. Here comes JP back out onto the racetrack. And the 22 is now going to take over that second place position. Maxwell going to in the third. And that's going to, slide TBB, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, back to that 4th place position. And while we're 28 laps into this race, we're going to step aside. We're going to pay some bills, but don't go anywhere. We're going all-out coverage. You're not going to miss anything right here on Redline Racing Network. Race fans, welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, the legacy version before the massive repave. This, the more tried and true variant of this racetrack that is loved by so many, famous for being a cheese grater to those Dr. Feelgoods, making them go feel bads. And when you pack it in against this Gen 4 race car, it is just all-out warfare on the racetrack. These drivers are having to battle that beast of a machine, all the elements, the other drivers, and it has been hot and heavy, fast and furious since the drop of the green flag. So we're now 36 into the scheduled 163 laps. That's the distance to the checkered flag here tonight as we continue to watch Thomas Harmon come down pit road. Oh, here we go. Get skinny, boys. Multiple drivers down on pit road. There's Thomas Harmon in that 68 machine. There's the 27 ride. The 91 machine, that Dodge. We go back out onto the racetrack. That's going to put Michael Skinner to that P1 position. So he gets into the wall. Broadcaster's curse in full effect tonight. That's going to allow Kenny Thompson to get by, who was last down pit road on lap 33. So that was just moments ago while we were at our all-out coverage break. Kenny Thompson getting it done on pit road. That's going to be good for about a half-second advantage right now over Merkel in the 41, who also owns the fastest lap of the race right now. In fact, Merkel now stretching it, Thompson stretching it out now over Merkel, as that lead has now grown to over 0.7 of a second. Getting a message here up in the broadcast booth that Chris Hogue may have been involved in an incident out there on the racetrack. Let's go back to the Redline Racing Network instant replay. Slow it down here. Oh, hold on to it. He found where the Waffle House dumped the bacon grease. Goes for the slide for life there. Oh, and he just karate chops that safer barrier. Probably going to have to pick up some of his teeth from inside the cockpit of that race car. Instantly teleports. Hits the flux capacitor back to pit road. Going to be a tough evening there for the driver of the two. Again, that did not throw a caution flag on the racetrack. That's why we had to go to a hard break from the live action. As we now send it back to the live side of things. Thompson really taking advantage of that clean air. That Chevrolet really reacting well to it. Last time by, he ran a 31:10. That's going to be the second fastest car on the racetrack. The only driver that's quicker is going to be Kyle Gray in that 78 machine in the 5th place position. However, it is a Noah's Ark situation back here around 5th. You can pitch a blanket over these bulls. Taylor Butcher Benjamin is lurking. He is stalking the 78, trying to be like the Intimidator of old, make him start in rear view mirror drive and get him to make a mistake. And he is mirroring the line of the 78, really trying to get in the head. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. He peeked up in the mirror, missed the exit of the corner, and that car almost took him to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's going to open up the high side here for Harmon. Or for Benjamin, excuse me. In fact, let's go on board with TBB. See how he gets around this place. Representing for the Pennsylvanians. Again, Butcher driving in that 88 machine, currently owns that 5th place position. Listen to that car scream. Almost 9,300 RPM. Now watch the steering control here. He is holding on to that race car for dear life. You can hear the throttle working that as smooth as he possibly can. That's a big part of being successful here at this speedway. So continues to rip the bottom here. You can see when he puts the pedal down, look how much he has. He's got a little bit of offset in that race car too. You can see how he's steering almost to the right to go straight. That's going to help that car turn left, what he's doing right now, which is obviously important here at an oval. Send it back up to the front. It is all Thompson. Inside the chaos machine. I love the paint scheme on that race car. Now, it's been the right kind of chaos for Thompson as he continues to lead here. Now working lap 48 of the scheduled 163. Merkel's having a great run thus far as well. Started P2. Currently, that's where he resides. In the money, in the podium position. Sam Maxwell holding on to that final third and final podium position there. Up 3 spots in third. Don't look now. Here comes Mr. Excitement, DJ Daniel. Already up 5 spots. Had a chance to talk with him before the race. He said, Matt, it's not about putting up the fast lap here. It's about going to be consistent, staying current with the racetrack, and not making mental mistakes out there. And he has not done any of that. Lo and behold, he is fighting his way up the scoring pylon, now into that 4th place position. The man on a recovery drive, though, is Thomas Harmon, making his debut return in the series. Started off on the pole. And I don't think anyone expected for things to go the way they did after the drop of the green flag, as he gave that car just too many biscuits and took out from underneath him, had to save it. And he has worked his way back inside the top 10 tonight. I ain't kidding you guys. 51 laps in, he's already inside the top 10. This guy is a monster. He is a beast. I mean, just take a look at Scooby. He's holding on for dear life. How about Father Dave here? In the 17, the Matt Kenseth Killer Bees ride does so much to help this series. And admin does a lot of work behind the scenes, having a great run here in that 10th place position. Dave's in a good spot right now in that 10th place position. No drama directly in front of him. However, there is a side-by-side battle brewing between Hickson and Harmon. But for Dave right now, it's a Sunday drive out the front windshield. And if you look behind him, nothing but clear sailing. You got to go back about 3 seconds or so to the next car back there. That's going to be Brandon Hilton. You can see him coming off of turn 2 as he fires down the backstretch. So plenty of real estate for Dave to work with. That should help keep him out of harm's way here, as we're just north of 50 laps here, 54 being written right now in the history books. James Pandolf not having the run he was hoping for, at least here in the early going. Caught a piece of the wall there. Really seemed to affect the balance of that race car just a little bit. No caution for any of these drivers that have had trouble. Last pitted on lap 19. So he's on some older shoes compared to some of these other drivers. Throw up the pit strategy graphic. Going to be in the bottom right-hand corner for you folks at home. Follow along with those drivers into the top 10 just came down pit road. Right now, Thompson and Merkel literally about mirroring the same lap times out there on the racetrack. Last time by, they both ran a 32:57. Third place car, that's going to be Maxwell, ran a 32:67. Daniel slightly faster. In fact, here we go, battle on the racetrack. It is starting to brew, getting good in the neighborhood. It's Mr. Excitement on the bottom. Maxwell on the high side of the racetrack. Daniel's going to send it in there like grandma's business on Sunday morning. The 98's going to get a run on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. All this is going to allow Taylor Butcher Benjamin to close in. James Pandolf does not want any of this. He's looking out his rearview mirror saying, hold on to it, boys. The 98 catches a piece of the fence. That's going to give Taylor Butcher Benjamin the spot. Now he is sniffing all over the bumper of the 29. Did you see that move by Taylor Butcher Benjamin? Huh. I got to widen this out. Let's go on board with the 88. Just trying to work over. One of the elite drivers in iRacing, the Iceman. Ooh, car got loose on me. You see him throw a ton of wheel into it. Both those drivers getting as close to that white line as possible. Daniel is literally Harvicking in Harvick's Richard Childress race car. Benjamin doing the same. You can see the 88 is not driving to his liking as he closes in. On the 29, let's see if he decides to take another path around and see if he goes to the middle or the top shelf. Daniel doing a great job of using that dirty air, running a very defensive line here. Ooh, that's going to cost Benjamin just a little bit there. It does. It costs him a 10th. And while all this is going on, he may have not had a start of the race he wants to remember, but hammer time is coming. He has already rebounded to 8th. Tell you what, you really want to unleash the beast. Throw a curve wrench at this driver on the start of the race, send him all the way to the back. And that'll really light a flame under the cockpit, and he has just rocketed to the front. I'm telling you, folks, Thomas may have almost a 12-second advantage over Harmon, but you watch what happens when we're getting down to the last 5-10 laps. You watch where Harmon is, and I'm going to tell you, he is going to be in the conversation. He will be there. Mark my words. We're on board with the all-time winning driver in Dynasty Racing League history. He was able to accomplish that. He was a good friend of mine, used to be up in the broadcast booth covering this series, Liam Irving. Covered that race at Miami when he took the title in, the most winningest driver in series history. We haven't seen him on track since until tonight. So he's now climbed up to that 7th place position. Scooby's looking for another stack here, and that's going to be Kyle Gray, currently in that 6th place position. Go ahead and widen things back out. There's James Pandolf. He is not on the lead pace, unfortunately. He is a couple laps down, currently being scored in that 18th position. Ooh. I think Harmon got closer to that deuce more than he wanted to be. Car's so blacked out I can barely see the number placard on it, but I'm pretty sure that is, no, it's not the 2, excuse me. Pit stops underway. Here comes the leader. He's going to peel off and come down pit road, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to have any mistakes here. You want clean execution. You want to get all 4 of those tires locked inside of your pit box. Should you go over, iRacing will not let you start service on that race car. You're going to have to put it in reverse, cost you precious time, but not the case here. As the Double Deuce locks in that pit stall, that pit box beautifully. See the Jackman going to work, those tires going off, those Dr. Feel Bads being ripped off, Dr. Feelgood's being put on. It's 22 down and away. Going to turn over the lead to DJ Daniel. DJ doing DJ type things out there on the racetrack right now. Really good at managing his equipment. Car still looks showroom brand new. Don't see a scratch on it. Daniel last down pit road on lap 34. So he's currently been out there 34 laps on those set of Goodyear Eagles on that race car. Look for him to come down here momentarily. A lot of fall off when you're out there with older tires. In fact, look at how much more speed the 22 has as he's able to take it skybound here. Rip the top of the fishbowl and just check out on the leader. 71 laps in the books. Ladies and gentlemen, you're locked into Redline Racing Network. We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Dynasty Racing League coverage momentarily. Race fans, welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway right here on Redline Racing Network. The Dynasty Racing League Winter Series out there, rage and battle on the racetrack. As Kenny Thompson continues to be the fast man in town. Started just outside the top 5, but it has been all business for the 22. As he continues to lead, I want to thank everyone for joining in, being a part of the live action here tonight. Go ahead, get the tower back up for you folks at home. And I have to thank you guys once again, however you're watching this content, bringing us into your homes, onto your phones. And if you can be so nice to support the cause as we close in on our 1,000 subscriber milestone. If you could be a part of the family, help us achieve that goal. We're forever grateful to you. And also, you get notified each and every time the Dynasty Racing League goes live right here, so you don't miss a moment of the action right here on Redline Racing Network. We worked lap 80. Let's take a quick look at the weather. Wind speed has picked up 2 points. It was just gusting to 12, now back down to 10, and now 9. And it continues to drop. Funny how that works. Ambient air temperature up 2 points to that 70-degree mark. Humidity has dropped off to 29%. However, that track temp is still 90 degrees. Not the hottest we've ever seen here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. However, this track does not need any help destroying and shredding those tires on the race car. I mean, we've seen what cold tires did on the start of this race as it threw 2 veteran, well-seasoned drivers through a loop there. Hammer time being one of them. It's been the Kenny Thompson show here. Merkel not falling as far back as we've seen right now, about 3.4 seconds off the leader. You can see him doing the jig coming off the corner there. We now work lap 82. Let's go ahead and run through the field. We just covered Thompson, who is your current leader. Let's pick it up here with Kyle S. Merkel, who currently owns and resides in that second place position. Taylor Butcher Benjamin. I'll tell you what, he is on a hot streak, folks. Won in DRL fashion at Daytona. A thriller last week in Las Vegas as he took the lead with just 2 laps remaining. And continues to do what he does as he inches his way towards the front of this field. DJ Daniel having a great run here out of Bassett, Virginia. And don't let his tagline fool you. I ain't as good as I once was. He's as good as once as he ever was. He just don't want to tell you that, but I will. Sam Maxwell in the 98. He's been fun to watch doing battle out there on the racetrack. He's had his handful of that race car at times. We've seen him get up there in the fence a little bit. Currently holds down that last spot into the top 5 in 5th. Kyle Gray up 7 positions, having a great run here tonight in that 78 machine. Starts off that corner entry, top of the hill. He brings it all the way down to the bottom. Here comes my bro in the 5 ride. He's going to tend it to the high side. Oh, the 78 almost comes up and pinches him into the wall. Probably spilled his milk and cookies there. There's hammer time. Up to 7th. Remember, he took the pole and it all went wrong on that initial restart. Those cold tires got the better of a legendary veteran here on the iRacing servers. And he has had to come all the way from the next zip code over, who currently holds down that 7th place position. Farnsworth Jr. out there farming some, well, technically he's not farming some iRating, it's a league race, but he's having a phenomenal run out there in the 42 machine. 7 spots to the good, inside the top 10 and 8th. Father Dave having himself a time from Jackson, New Jersey. Killer Bees out there. Dave's just doing Dave things right now. It reminds me a lot of how Mark Martin used to attack the racetrack in these Gen 4 cars. You never really see him in the Hornet's Nest. He likes to keep himself out of the drama on the racetrack, if you will. He has about 7-8 car lengths to the next car in line. is going to be Brandon Hilton in 10th. Another driver that's had to come from the back or further in the back like Dave. Currently in 10th. Donald Hickson Jr. from Hamilton. I believe that's Hamilton, Ontario in the Budweiser 8. You can see some damage on that race car. Looks like someone punted him in the back corner there. Also has gotten into the wall just a little bit. Perhaps the handling affected just a little bit on the race car, especially the way the back is skewed out like that. Maybe getting a little extra downforce, though, as that rear spoiler is up in the air towards that right side. Dodge Dealer's 91 machine. Mark piloting that car. Rev Fasano Sr. in 13th. Napa Know-How out there from Brooklyn, New York, doing things. Joel Rollins, that's the driver with the hidden number. Okay, from Phoenix, Arizona. Pardon the interruption there, folks. I was saying Joel Rollins, the guy with the roasted out number on the side of his race car being shown. The number 7 registered to his machine in Phoenix, Arizona. Greg Spiker rounds out your top 15 in the 10 run. Driver of the Moo Crew, the head cook, chief, and bottle washer of the series, James Pandolf, on a similar recovery drive of his own. The initial start of the race wasn't too kind to him here at Atlanta, but he's holding on. He's got that car fixed up. Currently runs in that 16th place position. Bryce, Max, Justin Cope, Mike Skinner, Chris Ho, Sizzle Time, Matty Sizzler, Marcus Chaffin, and Dwayne Hopkins have all put it on the hauler. That leaves us 21 cars out on the racetrack currently in competition, all chasing down this man right here, the Chaos Machine. And this battle right here is for position. Merkel currently has second. Daniel wants it. He's going to send it to the high side of the racetrack. He's going to he's going to uncork and light the afterburner. He's going to drop the hammer, send it into high gear. Thomas the Hammer, oh my God, why do I keep messing these two drivers up tonight? Taylor Butcher Benjamin. The little draft assist there is going to help both of those drivers get around the 41 of Merkel. That's going to move Daniel to second, Butcher Benjamin to third. See when these drivers were last down pit road, pull up the pit delta. You can see Daniel has the freshest tires of those inside the top three. Thompson currently working lap 33 on his stint. Daniel 29, Butcher Benjamin 32, Merkel 33. Tires do play a big factor here at this racetrack, maybe more so than any other mile and a half on the circuit. I mean, this racetrack here in this configuration hasn't been repaved for almost 30 years. As here comes the 41 down pit road. The last thing you want to do is get a speeding penalty. He squeezes it in there, a little bit of a slide. He's got it woed down to crawling at pit road speed, just 45 miles an hour. As he has his sights set on his pit box. Locks it in there. Team going to go to work. Come one, come all. Kenny Thompson got the memo. He's down on pit road. Butcher Benjamin coming down as well. That's going to cycle the lead back to Daniel. Mr. Long Run. Remember, the longer Daniel stays out, the more fresher tires, the better tires he's going to have to these guys that are currently on pit road now. However, the other side of the coin is Daniel last time by ran a 32.87 compared to his best lap of a 30.80. So you're talking 2 seconds of fall off. That is an eternity out there on the racetrack, folks. So that's the other side of the coin. So how long does Daniel wait? As you see the 22 of Thompson come off of pit road. Currently right now a lap down. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, the 22 able to go right back by Daniel. However, I think he may have been trying to get to pit road there, but couldn't get down because the 22 was coming. Kyle Gray on pit road in the 78. Scheduled pit stop for him. I can tell you this from here, folks. These drivers cannot go the distance. They're going to have to come down pit road one more time. Hinton now on pit road as well. Harmon on pit road in the 68 Scooby-Doo Snacks machine. They'll walk it into pit box or pit stall number 1. Remember, he was your pole sitter. DJ Daniel, he does the dance getting on the pit road. Your leader. Service currently ongoing on his race car. And as DJ Daniel comes off of pit road with service complete, 107 laps written in the history books We're going to step outside for another all-out coverage break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Redline Racing Network. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Redline Racing Network, coming off of our final all-out coverage break on the evening. Just one more scheduled commercial break left in this one. Got to take care of our partners, pay bills one more time, but that can wait. We're now working lap 115 of 163 laps. And it is getting hot and heavy in the neighborhood. This cluster of cars right here in that 8th place position. Dave's going to start giving it the business inside the cockpit of that race car as these laps starting to wind down now. Right in there with the 22 at Thompson. Going to put Dave back on the lead lap. side by side, working the bottom, giving plenty of real estate there. As David Geisha continues to have a great run here in 8. Back up to the front of this piece. Actually went backwards to go to the front. That's how close Dave is holding on to the lead lap right now. Kenny Thompson. A double deuce, doing things in Atlanta. Currently enjoys a 5.7 second advantage over Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who continues to climb the totem pole, continues to fight oh my God, World War II trench warfare style out there on the racetrack. Able to get around the pole sitter of Merkel. Is that Target 41 Energizer machine. Now runs in 3rd. DJ Daniel hot on his heels in 4th. Remember, Daniel has the fresher tires out of the 2 cars here. Thompson currently 17 laps on this stint, same as Butcher Benjamin. Merkel's working lap 18, while Daniel only has 13 laps on those tires, and here they go. They both wiggle it. Daniel's going to put the bumper to him just about mere millimeters off the back of the Target machine on the business end. Going to set it down to the corner, throw a Louisville slider into the mix. And that's the advantage of tires here at Atlanta. Sometimes it's almost no contest, or it seems like no contest. That puts Daniels back in the money as he's now in that 3rd and final podium place position. That's going to slide Merkel now back to 4th. And race fans, look who's in 5th. Scooby-Doo and company. The master of mayhem. Thomas Harmon. It is making his return to Dynasty Racing League competition. We haven't seen him out here on the racetrack since he won the championship in Miami. The last time this series did business, over a 1 year, just about a 1 year hiatus. In race 3 in the Winter Series, he comes back, puts the car on the pole with an absolute howitzer of a lap. And then the initial start, it just went ugly for him. Rare miscue with him in that Dodge Dealers 9 machine. Both gave it too much juice in the caboose. Those tires said, nuh-uh, not today. They lost grip and had to save it down the racetrack, and he went back to the Badlands. And he has been on a recovery drive. He's rebounded up to 5th, now closing in on 4th. Harmon looks to the inside. The 4 target ride tries to pinch him down the racetrack a little bit. Shaggy's going to force him back up the racetrack. Plenty of room given between these drivers. The 41 going to bark the throttle there. The 68 now the 4th. What an incredible drive from Harmon. Question is, does he have enough time? Over 10 seconds off the lead. Next car for Harmon to pass is going to be Daniel. Daniel is about 1.3 seconds ahead of Harmon on the racetrack. However, I can tell you this. Harmon right now is the fastest car on the racetrack. Last time by, he ran a 32.35 to Kenny Thompson's 32.47. So he now tries to make quick work of the 15. Ralph in the 15, have the know-how ride, currently in that 12th place position. See the flames shoot out the tailpipe of that Napa know-how ride. That means he got off the loud pedal there. Oh, the 41's in the fence. Merkel into the fence. Oh, he's got some big-time damage on that race car. Whole side of that 41 kind of caved in on him just a little bit there. That's going to hurt him, especially down these straightaways. Remember, these Gen 4 cars, you know, they see speeds over or close to 200 miles an hour here, especially when you're on fresh shoes. Kenny Thompson, your leader, as we write 129 laps into the history books here at Atlanta. We're going to step aside for our final commercial break of the evening. Don't go doting off anywhere. We'll be right back on Redline Racing Network. Race fans, welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway as the Dynasty Racing League thrills once again out here on the racetrack. Matt Mettler up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth as we are getting down to the end of this one. Green flag action, lean and green since the drop of the green flag. Caution free for the entirety of this race thus far, as Kenny Thompson continues to be the man with the plan here. In fact, he's quite frankly the mayor of Dubtown right now. There's 24 laps remaining in this one, ladies and gentlemen. I want to step aside from the racing action just for a second, folks, and talk to you guys about the tropics. About a week ago, Hurricane Helene made history. Historic hurricane made landfall in the Big Bend area and carved a path up through Georgia, North and South Carolina, particularly the western side of those states, into Tennessee. And brief catastrophe. We have problems as Pandolf got bonked. He got used and abused. Let's go ahead and wind this back. I just happened to catch it the bottom portion of the frame. And we'll get back to the trouble in the tropics here. Oh! Hail Mary, full of grace. The 42 almost lost his breakfast, lunch, and dinner inside of that race car. Woo! Hold on to it, bud. He's bringing the beef on that one. I feel so bad for James. Just not the drive he was hoping for tonight. Now getting back to the tropics, folks, I was talking about Hurricane Helene and the wrath that unravaged on this country. Folks, I'm not kidding you. We have another storm, Tropical Storm Milton, that is in the Gulf of Mexico and has its sights set on Florida once again. Georgia, North, South Carolina, you folks will be spared, but the peninsula is going to be the main focal point of this storm, the M storm Milton. Different model intensity guidance, agreeing at a Cat 3, Cat 4 solution. Some higher, Cat 5. You have from now until Wednesday time frame to prepare as us fellow Floridians get ready to go into battle with Mother Nature here once again, folks. Remember, don't be scared, be prepared. But if you're listening to this broadcast and are in the state of Florida, make sure you guys get at the ready, because Milton is going to mean business here in the Sunshine State. As Kenny Thompson is having a run here to remember, as he is outshining some of the best in DRL competition. Taylor Butcher Benjamin now resides P2. DJ Daniel, he is giving these boys a run for the money in third. Hammer time all the way up to fourth, but he is 13 seconds off the pace. But I'll tell you what, folks, you heard of Larry McReynolds, Larry McNuggets, all of his trends of the race. If we, for some reason, get a late race caution here, take everything I'm talking about right now, crumple it up, throw it out the window. It'd be a brand new race, rack and stacked, everyone on the lead lap on top of each other. And boy, would that be exciting. No one probably wants to see a caution right now more than Thomas Harmon in that fourth place position, but nonetheless, What a great drive from him this evening is he's had to come all the way from the back. Daniel, just in front of hammer time here. In fact, this should shape up to be a classic battle here. Mr. Excitement in the 29 looks to pinch him up the racetrack. Harmon's going to cross him over. Daniel said, "You ain't not passing me on the high side. Get back. You don't know me like that." Harmon's going to rock it in through the middle. He's going to throw the slider on him. He's just going to try to cross him over, Harvick style. DJ gets a run. He almost gets to his back bumper. Harmon's going to take the spot. Two beast mode drivers going at it right there, the 69 or the 68 and the 29. We're not even going to bother calling Daniel the 77 because you folks at home see the 29, so we're going to stick with that. Daniel just gets bumped outside the money here. He's going to slide back to fourth. It's Thomas Harmon now in third. And folks, if you have watched any of these prior seasons in coverage or on broadcast coverage, how many times have we seen this guy right here, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, in second, and Thomas Harmon in third, go at it. Oh, so many great battles between these two drivers. Myself, Liam Irving, up here in the booth covering. I mean, these two just absolutely gassed us at times. I mean, we're helping each other off the floor. I don't think we're going to get to see a Butcher Benjamin hammer time battle here at the end of this thing, but I can promise you folks, in the near future, if you're new to the series, if you're new to Redline Racing Network, you guys will soon get to experience that. We now send it up to show Kenny Thompson and the Chaos Machine some love. Because, well, he's had that car has been scary fast. The Chaos has been well controlled and focused into fury out there on the racetrack. That car has been scary fast. He comes off of the 3 and 4 complex, now working through turn 4. Now officially just 10 laps to go. We'll run through the field quickly one more time. Taylor Butcher Benjamin currently owns that second place position. Thomas Harmon in third. DJ Daniel in fourth. Kyle Gray rounds at the top 5 in the 78 machine, up 8 spots from where he started. The Merc, Kyle Merkel, started in that second place position, now has slid back 4 spots to 6, just outside the top 5. Barnsworth continues to impress in the 42 as he is in that second place position. And Brandon Hinton in that 27 machine, currently in that currently the biggest mover of the race, up 10 spots in 8th. Well, the Dodge Dealers 91 being piloted by Mark in 9th. Donald Hickson Jr. from Hamilton, I believe, Ontario, in 10th. David Keisha, who was being scored as high as, I believe, 7th or 8th. During times of pit stops, he was further up the pylon than that. Up 9 spots, second biggest mover on the racetrack in that 11th place position. Ralph Fasano Jr. in the Michael Waltrip throwback scheme. Currently in that 12th place position, while Greg Spiker currently holds down that P13 position Joe Rollins, Sam Maxwell, James Pandolf, Bryce Boyer, Justin Cope, Mike Skinner, Chris Hogue, Dwayne Hopkins, and Marcus Chaffin, all off the racetrack at this point in time. So we now send it back to the front. The Chaos Man had the plan. Just 6 laps to go. I may be wrong here, folks. Oh, look out. Superman and Batman about to go at it again. Grandma, make sure you got plenty of kernel-free popcorn. It's about to get good. Thomas, or Kenny Thompson, he is your leader. He is checked out into another county. He has 10 seconds over this battle right here on the racetrack. I didn't think we were going to get to see it this week, folks, but here we go. Man, your battle stations, it's Benjamin on Harmon time once again here in the Dynasty Racing League. 68 says, look up, my old friend. I got you in my rearview mirror, buddy. Scooby, gonna peek down here down low. The 88's gonna have to run on the high side of the racetrack. The 68. Now he's gonna send it down low, eating on the inside. He's gonna get a good run off the corner. However, he cannot force the front nose of that Chevrolet underneath a Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Just 4 laps remaining. Now they're gonna do the 2-car shuffle. Benjamin trying to best Thomas Harmon. Gentleman's handshake. 3 laps remaining in the air. Now he's going to take it upstairs, way up to the high side. Try to get some momentum for the Mystery Machine. He's going to get a big run down the backstretch. He's at the bumper. He's going to peek to the inside. Hammer time to the bottom. The 88 goes high. It's a side-by-side John 4 special into the turns 3 and 4 complex. Oh, Butcher Benjamin gets in the wall. He hits it once. He hits it twice. Oh. Butcher Benjamin with a wounded race car. As they were having one of their epic battles with Thomas the Hammer Harmon, now going to come into that second place position. That's going to cycle Butcher Benjamin back to third, and on the final lap of the race, as he sends it into the turns 1 and 2 complex. Coming down the backstretch for the final time. He's confident he's going to put that car all its worth. Oh, we got trouble just in front of the leader. The 10 goes into the wall. That's Spiker. The 22 is going to thread the needle into the 3 and 4 complex. Coming out of the corner, Thompson has had that car rumbling, stumbling with the absolute rocket. Thompson is going to win here at Atlanta. In dominating fashion, Mr. Chaos was absolutely fired up and flying here tonight in prime time. Thomas Harmon almost pulled it off, folks. He went from worst to second place. Taylor Butcher Benjamin third. Good pal, old teammate of mine, DJ Daniel, comes up just outside the podium in fourth, but nonetheless a great run. Kyle Gray rounds out the top 5. As there is your winner tonight, Kenny Thompson. We're going to talk to the top 3. Going to give these guys a moment here to celebrate with their team and then join us here in the broadcast booth. Be talking to your winner, Kenny Thompson, Thomas Harmon, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Let's see, we got Kenny Thompson there. start off with Taylor Butcher Benjamin if we can find him. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Matt up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy there, bud. Right, one more time. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Matt up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, bud.
I got you.
Well, hey, man, this league reboots after almost a 1-year hiatus. You come out here, win the first two. A podium third place finish for you tonight, man. Another great performance. Walk me through this race tonight. How are you able to come home with yet again another very strong performance against such great competition?
Well, I mean, I think, besides my little goof there coming to 2 to go, I think it was just limiting mistakes. And like we saw what happened at the start of the race, and just, try not to race the competition too hard and just kind of race the stopwatch. But, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this version of Atlanta. I think kind of a consensus that most everybody else does too.
Agree.
But, although I don't know what the 22 was able to do at the end of that first run, but he really found something that worked for him, and he really spanked us tonight. Got to take a hat off to him.
Yeah, no doubt that chaos machine was certainly controlled chaos out there on the racetrack, and that car was certainly fast. And you're right, the longer it ran, the better it seemed he got. But talk to me about that battle. Looked like we were watching DRL from a year ago. You going up against Superman versus Batman out there. Taylor Butcher Benjamin going up against Thomas the Hammer Harmon. That was a great battle. I was covering it. You guys were throwing haymakers at each other. It seemed like your car just got a little loose there in the high side and kind of went up there and caught a piece of the fence.
Yep, it definitely. I've seen that movie before, but between me and him. But yeah, he was able to. I know we pitted the same lap and saw him dropping back and was like, he's saving his stuff. But then I was hoping DJ could have held him up a little longer, and then also he was able to get by the lap cars a little better. But he did a really smart thing. The half a lap before I got on the fence, he ran really high through 1 and 2 and got a big run on me, and that's what allowed him to get to my inside. And I tried to stay in it, but then just ran out of track. But still a good run.
Yeah, excellent run, man. And, obviously you're one of the contenders in this series. Probably one of the best starts, I've seen out of any driver in a long time. Thrilling performance at Daytona. You take the lead late last week, and I'll have that broadcast uploaded here shortly. We're getting ready for another hurricane here in Florida, so I plan to get that done before that hits. And then yet again tonight, you going up against Thomas Harmon with another great battle and a third place finish, man. You certainly have momentum on your side. Tip of the hat to you. Who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on that 88, bud?
I'll just thank, although none of them are here, just thank the DRL guys. I'm sure they're, with us in spirit. And of course, thanks JP for putting on the league, and you guys for doing the broadcast.
Well, hey, man, anytime. Thanks for being out there on the racetrack. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. 2 wins and a podium here tonight. Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Impressive once again here in prime time as he comes home third here at Atlanta. The OG in the way that it should be racetrack, in my opinion. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth, bud.
Yep, catch you next week.
That's your third place finisher, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're trying to track down Thomas Harmon, if he is still in the Discord. You heard from Taylor Benjamin. There he is. Now joining me up in the Tony Trapassa Memorial booth, Thomas Harmon. Matt up top, you got me, bud.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, hey, man, let's rewind the dials here a little bit. The last time we seen you in competition in this league, back in Miami before the 1-year roughly hiatus, you not only won the championship, but also became the most winningest driver in DRL history that night as Liam and I were up in the booth. We haven't seen you in over a year. Race 3 of the season, You come out of the woodwork and you put the 68 on the pole. And I'm sitting there going, here we go. It's going to be 2023 all over again. And then walk me through the start of that race as I had to scrape myself off the broadcast floor. What happened on that start? Did the tires just not have enough bite in them? What went wrong for you inside that race car?
Oh, I guess I gave it a little bit too much gas on the start, and it started to spit them, so I backed out of it. I figured, I was going to give up the lead anyway. That was my plan from the word go, and I was like, well, I'll just work my way back through the field. And then as soon as I shifted, hit the gas, it kicked sideways. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And I expected to get a few positions back, but I certainly did not, expect it to go green the entire race, nor did I expect to have this kind of recovery. But, we'll take it. And kind of embarrassing start.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what, if you've been watching this series for a while, at least for me, being my second season up here, that's one of the awesome things about getting to watch you out there on the racetrack. No matter what type of adversity seems to be thrown at you, in this case, starting from the pole and then having that high and then having that mishap, a very rare miscue by you, to have to go virtually all the way to the back of this field on a green run all the way from the start to finish, and to be able to watch you rally up to P2, having a classic battle there with your buddy Taylor Butcher Benjamin. I mean, from my position, what more could you ask for out there on the racetrack? I understand you wanted to come home with the win, but man, what a drive by you in that 68 machine, just showing you that, hey, anything is possible. Just keep your head in it, stay hungry out there on the racetrack. How were you able to climb all the way back through the field like that?
Well, I knew from practice run that I did that the tires really wore off, and that right front would get really hot if you pushed it. So I knew it was just a matter of being patient and not overdriving that right front, because then it would just compound problems from there. And I just kept patient throughout the entirety of the race, tried not to overdrive it. When I did, I'd give it a lap or two to cool down and then go back at it.
I'll tell you what, man, you make it look so easy out there, and I know it's anything but. I was on the racetrack with you once, and it was a very humbling experience. But, hey, man, who do you want to thank before we cut you loose, let you go celebrate this P2 with your team?
Yeah, you up in the booth for sure for broadcasting it to everybody, JP and all the NDRL admins out there that brought this series back. All the drivers that showed up, a pretty good field tonight. Good to see that. And no Averill in the car. We'll have to change that sometime.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, making his first appearance on the season. The most winningest driver in DRL history, rides the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows, and you got to watch him climb all the way back through the field. Comes home just a little bit short with a solid second place position. Hammer time is back. That is Thomas Harmon. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth, bud.
Have a good one.
You too, bud. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that means just one person left to talk to here tonight, this evening. And that is going to be the Rocket from tonight's race, driver of the 22, Kenny Thompson. Matt, up top, you got a copy, bud?
I do.
Well, Kenny Thompson, I mean, you had controlled chaos on the paint scheme of that race car, or I'm calling it controlled chaos, because that thing was a bat out of hell out there tonight. How were you able to put together such a dominant performance against such great competition?
You know, it really felt like P. Diddy came through here and put some baby oil on the track, because it was incredibly slick. You know, you saw that at the start. You know, today it was really about keeping the car straight and only applying throttle once you were straight.
You're a master at KO in the broadcast booth, by the way. While you call it baby oil, I'll say the Waffle House dumped the bacon grease, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle. What I mean, you make it sound so easy, and I know how difficult, this version of Atlanta is with all the power in this Gen 4 car. I mean, as a driver, how are you able to do that and just keep the performance where you were able to over the course of those long runs? I mean, your margin of victory was north of 10 seconds. That's very impressive.
It's a struggle. I mean, I was hitting the wall a couple times. I guess I got lucky. I guess also I feel like I got lucky on the start with the guys, spinning out and stuff. So the competition may or may not have been there. But today it's a win, and a win is a win. So I'll take it.
Absolutely, man. A win is a win is a win. You're absolutely right. You mentioned the start of that race. Was it just as slick with those Goodyears being cold as it was almost when they were wearing out? It seemed like a lot of drivers, like as you mentioned on that initial start, caught a couple big names by surprise, and they went all the way to the back.
It caught me off guard for sure. I mean, they went out and I thought I had it, and then and going into one, I lost it a little bit as well. So I think it really caught everybody off guard. Nobody was really ready for that.
Yeah, I certainly didn't expect it up here in the broadcast booth either. You expect to see that, perhaps in qualifying or, later on in the run for sure, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that in the cards there on the initial start of the race. However, flag to flag action, 0 cautions for incident, and you're able to go out there and put on a clinic. Before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 22?
I just want to thank the Super RC car, or the Super RC team, and the Chaos Machine. It's a fast car today.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. The Chaos Machine was boss here at Hot-Lanta. Kenny Thompson had a rocket ship, looking like a slot car out there on the racetrack, as he is able to blister the competition with over a 10-second margin of victory. That is the driver of the 22, Kenny Thompson. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth, bud.
Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate your time, man. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to round up our top 3 interviews here tonight on Redline Racing Network. Want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. And unfortunately, it has come to that time of the race. All good things must come to an end, including this broadcast. Want to thank the partners, the sponsors, Black Magic, Team Watson Racing Setups, JP David Acacia for all their hard work that they've put together into the series. Obviously, all the drivers for showing up each and every time, and the great racing you guys put on the racetrack. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Don't play in traffic, and we'll catch you next time right here on Redline Racing Network.